Welcome back, everyone, to another reaction. Today we're going to be checking out 10 words I'm shocked Australians say differently.
Oi,
Oi.
we've run into a few Australians in our travels throughout Southeast Asia, and there's definitely some vocabulary differences.
There was one drunk Australian guy that yelled at us from a restaurant in Bali, and it was probably because he was insanely drunk, but he was like, ah, and we were like, was he speaking English?
He was trying to call us out. I don't know if he was saying something bad or good. It was like, oi, oi, cabo, cabo. I don't know.
I don't know. It was like so different that we didn't understand what he was saying at all.
Yeah.
But he was Australian because he said, "Oi." All right, let's do it. Here we go.
In a parallel universe, and I'm not even exaggerating. I once asked for a vitamin, and the chemist looked at me as if I kicked her dog. So these are the 10 words that I can't believe Aussies say differently from Brits. Let's get into it. Hey mate, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Sam, a British actor.
Now you're getting some extra insights. We're American.
We say vitamin, not vitamin.
Documenting my journey of rebuilding my life in Australia. Now, I have to say, I adore Australians. I married one. Okay, and I adore the accent. The first one is Almond. My wife, who born and raised in Brisbane, Australia, she says almond. Almond? I'm like,
almond with no L.
Oh, that's almost like how a New Yorker would say it or something. Hey, I need an almond.
Do New Yorkers ever say, "Hey, give me an almond"?
one particular almond.
Because we say almond, he says almond, and they say almond. Is it everybody in Australia says it, or do like different areas slightly say different? I don't know how the Aussie accent works.
Australia is a big country.
It is.
what are you on about, almond? It doesn't even remotely sound like you're trying to say the L in the word. Now look, I fell in love with an Australian, and she brought me to Australia to see what I thought of it, and I fell in love with Australia too. I love living here. It's one of the best countries on the planet. But the first time someone came over to our place and asked us for some almond milk, I was like, what are you saying? Right, the more I say almond milk, which is what British people say, the more obnoxious I can hear myself sounding. Almond, wow, it's actually quite grating, isn't it? If you're gonna say a word, at least say it how it's spelled. Now, look, I can feel people tippy-tapping on their keyboard right now going, well, that's not the rule with words, that we have silent letters and all of that. Fair. Valid. Hey, valid. But almond milk, come on, English speakers. You look at that word and you go, that's an L. That's an L, not an R. I don't see a H. Number 2 is the word capsicum. Now, if you're British...
Capsicum is... I know it's different in American English also. It's
Unless you're a botanist, you probably don't know what capsicum means. I'm making a very big claim there. Right, in the UK, and I'm pretty certain in the USA, it is bell pepper, because it's kind of shaped like a bell. Look, I can see we're reaching at that. Hear me out, right? When my wife and I first got together in Japan, we were dating. I was, working the old charm. What am I doing? I wanted to cook some dinner for her. And I think she offered to help me in the kitchen. She was looking through the ingredients in the fridge, and she said, oh, do you need this capsicum? I whipped my head around and I said, sorry, what did you just call my mother? She was like, no, what are you on about? Do you need this capsicum? I said, I don't know what you've done to that bell pepper, but it's not called that. I said to her, how many other words have you changed in Australia? Anyway, after a long discussion with her, obviously falling more and more in love with me, I had to Google it, and clear as day, Wikipedia talks about a bell pepper original plant name being capsicum. So,
Aussie's the original.
Interesting.
These Brits, they think they invented English, so they're the right ones.
Yeah, but actually...
it to her. So academically, Aussies are 100% correct when they say capsicum. But bad news and good news, bell peppers are so expensive here in Brisbane, Australia, that we never buy them anyway. I swear, when I go to Aldi, it's like $6 for one singular green capsicum. And I'm like, that's not even the good one.
So he said Aldi. Would an Australian say Aldi? I don't know.
3 is towel. Now, how would you say towel now? Wherever you are, whoever you're with, just say out loud for me, towel. When you've done that, I'm hearing at least 2 syllables, towel, right? You say the EL at the end or the WEL, whatever. We're getting into the finicky parts. This one,
Minnesota is more like Towel. Like there's no O, it's just towel. Like it's almost TOWL.
Yeah,
It's
like
not towel.
like a U in there. Towel.
Towel.
Right, because the Aussies, especially my wife, will just say town, and she'll just get rid of the W and E in the word, and it'll just disappear, and it'll be
That's
town.
interesting
And
because it's not.
you can't.
It's like 1.5 syllables almost. Towel. Like if you listen to it, it's 2 syllables still, but it's kind of quick enough to be like a 1 syllable
Think
word.
about it. It's kind of like mountain. How
Mountain.
we say it.
Yeah,
Mountain.
mountain.
Towel.
Yeah.
They just kind of mash the middle letters all
skipping the middle,
together.
yeah.
Kind of think maybe it's towel, but with her, it just sounds like towel. Anyway, after much confusion and, her falling more and more in love with me, obviously, I said, oh, you mean towel. Okay, yes, here's your towel. I said, please, be clearer with your... No, I wouldn't say that to her. That would be horrible. But anyway, you learn to hear like an Aussie before you even speak like one. And that's what I'm learning more and more. Every single day I live in Australia, assimilating into the culture. I have to train my ear before I train my voice. Wow, you can quote me on that. That was a good one. Vitamin. Okay, Brits. I think
Vitamin.
both Australia and the US.
Do Aussies say vitamin?
I don't know.
They say,
Vitamin. What else?
Vitamin.
How else could you pronounce it?
maybe it's just vitamin.
But vitamin.
USA are against us on this one. Not just vitamin. They'll soften that T,
Vitamin.
which actually I think that's quite cute. I quite like that, I have to say. When we say vitamin, it's also like tight in the jaw. It's also clenched. It's like, chill out, man. Calm yourself down. Now look, I learned this one again from my wife. Font of all knowledge in my life, obviously. I learned how to say vitamin much sooner on than I needed to before, going to the pharmacy or the doctors. If I get an audition through here in Australia and the script says vitamin, I'm gonna have to practice my vitamin. Garage, oh, it's a classic, isn't it? Garage.
That's how
I
British
remember
people say garage.
Dang, garage. Sounds like a dang military formation. As Americans, we would say garage.
Garage.
when I
Sounds
first
French. Garage.
Not really.
No.
heard an American say garage, and I was watching a look at me, I'm saying it, a garage band tutorial back when I was 15 years old, and I thought I was Billy Joel himself. I was trying to make all my tunes on garage band. The guy was like, hey there, welcome back to garage band, and I thought, oh my word, can you imagine saying it like that? And then I go and fall in love with an Australian, and she's like, oh, do you want to just put that in the garage? And I go, no, please tell me Australians don't say it like that. Number 6 is data. Brits say data, Aussies.
Yeah, I feel like in the US, people use it for different things. Like it's interchangeable, data and data. For certain, like if I'm analyzing numbers, I would call it data. I don't know when I would use data though.
Have you looked at the data yet?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say data for that, I don't think. I feel like if I said, well, we need to look at the data,
Yeah.
but I'd be like, all right, I'm going to do some data research. I don't
So like the cellular, like your phone plan would be
phone
data.
Yeah. But if I was going to look at data, I say both for sure.
Yeah,
I don't know
I-
in which
yeah.
context I do either
We
way.
Australians don't say it like that. Number 6 is data. Brits say data, Aussies say data. And they do that thing again where they soften the T. Right, it's data. It is. Come on, you can't put a T in the middle of 2 A's and, just leave it. Just softly tipple it, Tipple it, is that a word? I understand that. I'm adding a Y in there. All right.
But what's up with
Yeah.
like what is that? That's a different British accent?
I don't know. Yeah, it might be actually. I think I've seen things about that. Like certain British accents really pronounce the T and some of them don't. I don't know. But yeah, that's like a big thing between the differences sometimes with American English is the going quick through the T's and stuff.
In Minnesota, where we're from, T is basically a D in most, like if it's a longer word or it's like mountain, it's mountain. A lot of times it turns water as water. Der. No, the T. Minnesota is Minnesota. So it's funny that I wouldn't have expected, since a lot of Americans kind of almost have a hard time between British accents and Australian accents. Like sometimes we can't tell the difference, but more words in this video so far are similar to America.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Very odd.
That, but come on, Dada. Look, I know I'm giving it a lot here, right? But don't worry, I can also take the heat. She gives it a lot back. After a while, you just have to adapt your lingo for the person that you love, because if you don't, it's just going to make it difficult. So I will purposefully use Australian vocabulary. And the longer you live here, the more you realize that it kind of is like a different language. I now say doona instead of duvet. I now say devo.
Wait, what did he say?
Language. I now say doona instead of duvet.
Doona?
I now say devo instead of
I
devastate.
literally never say the word duvet.
No, I just
Ever.
say a comforter or a blanket.
Yeah. That's like not part of the American language, I feel like.
I now say arvo instead of afternoon, and honestly,
Arvo.
I quite like it. Number 7 is yogurt. UK yogurt makes perfect sense to me. You know, yo, yeah, man. Oh, okay, right. I can already see the flaw in this. Bear with me. Aussies say yogurt. And when Maddie said yogurt to me for the first time in Japan, my mind was blown.
This is
She was
almost
like,
a
"No."
video more surprising of how British people say certain words.
Yeah.
Yogurt?
I've always called it that. And I thought, since when? Since when? I thought. And, you know, the first time I said yogurt in front of Maddie, she laughed at me. I thought, wait, why are you laughing at me? Going back to the start of this, I can understand, right? It doesn't quite make sense when we say yogurt, because you would say yo for yo-yo or yo man. Do I still say yogurt to the person at the Yochi counter? Yes, I do. And that's all I say. They'll say, hey, how you going? And I'll say yogurt. And then they kick me out. Language, it's like cultural muscle memory. And mine is very much out of sync here. I am working on it though. Trust me, I am working on it. Number 8.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the person understands what you're saying and you get the yogurt in the end, that's all that matters.
Pasta?
We do say yogurt only specifically when we went to the city of Yogyakarta in
Yogurt.
Indonesia, which isn't even pronounced Yogyakarta, even though it's spelled with a Y. It's
Yeah.
Jogja.
Good luck going to Southeast Asia and pronouncing things, this guy. I mean, that's always like British people. I feel like no matter where they go, like all the A's are the very pronounced like A's, even though the city doesn't. They'd be like Jakarta.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting. Pasta.
Pasta.
He's gonna say pasta.
Pasta.
Is pasta. Now, I say pasta, Brits say pasta, Aussies say pasta.
Pasta.
Not sure about that one. Pasta,
Kinda
you
sounds
know,
like
so
pastor.
much beautiful cultural history in one word. The Italians who gifted us this delicious food. And Aussies, even though they hear the Italian and go pasta, they have to go pasta. Oh my gosh, do Italians say pasta? Wait, I need to look now. Wait, I need to look, because that means I'm actually right.
They definitely do. I couldn't see an Italian go pasta.
Hey, the pasta.
Gosh, maybe I just need to retitle this entire video, watch British guy get every word wrong. Oh my word. Italian pronounce pasta.
Pasta.
To be fair, I think I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong. Because that sounds more, to me, that sounds more like pasta than pasta. Oh my word. Are the Brits just wrong about all of these words? Oh my days. Right. Moving on. Number 9 is card. Now, okay, right. Surely 1 point to Sam for this one. Card, right? Card. Aussies will say card. I'm overdoing it there. Actually, no, I'm not. There's quite a lot of very broad accented Aussies who say card. And sometimes it's so harsh that you kind of can't understand what
Not
they
even
say,
an
at least
R
for
in
me
there
anyway.
anymore.
Card seems simple. So with the Aussie accent, they pronounce it more like this, you know. There's almost like no R in it at all. It's like a car. Now, to be completely honest with you, it is really funny, right? Because I will be here for like many months at a time and only go visit the UK for a couple of months to, you know, catch up with family, maybe do Christmas Day, all of that stuff. And they'll catch me saying words, saying Aussie words like doona. Yeah, when I catch myself forgetting certain like British words that I would normally say, I remind myself, oh yeah, like the UK is still my home, and while Australia is my home as well, and I really love it here. I sometimes, you know, that homesickness creeps in. Number 10, finally, Paywave. What is
a
Paywave?
Paywave?
Paywave, right, is when you take your card or your Apple Pay or your Google Pay and you just tap on the machine and the payment goes through. In the UK, we call that contactless. And I love that word.
Yeah.
So Paywave. Paywave's such an interesting one
Or
because I
Capsicum.
tried saying contactless here and no one got it. Fair enough if you don't say it here. Right, Paywave. Is that a company name? Yeah, but where does it does it? So it comes from Visa, does it? Is that the company? Let's just guess that's the company because honestly, can't be asked to find out.
I guess.
Wait,
Most people just say tap.
Yeah, I would say tap.
That's like
Even
tap.
in different countries in Southeast
Yeah.
Asia that we've been to recently, it's
then did
tap.
Visa call it contactless in the UK? Because if so, why did they? Yeah, it's called contactless in the UK, and it
Interesting.
says that
Visa
on the Visa
creating
website,
divides
but
in
it's
the
called
world.
Paywave in Australia. You would have thought these global companies would have had, global conference calls with each other and gone, oh, should we all agree on a term, a name together? And they go, yeah, what about Paywave? What about contactless? Maybe the Brits didn't want to call it Paywave and Aussies didn't want to be like the Brits. So now look, my Aussie lingo skills might not be the best in the world, but what I've got pretty good at learning is knowing exactly what the secret rules are that tourists keep breaking. They're unspoken rules that they won't tell you at the airport. So if you want to find out what they are, go watch this video
All
right
right,
now.
so interesting. What we learned is Australian lingo is more similar to American lingo.
How does it feel, all you guys watching this video right now, that you feel now closer to us?
Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.